No evening would be complete at Don Quijote without trying one of Elena's desserts and a glass of port. Elena's passion for desserts has distinguished Don Quijote as one of Chicagoland's best destination for dessert connoisseurs. Perhaps her best-known dessert is her tarta de cuajada. Fans of the restaurant simply refer to it as Elena's mom's recipe.
My wife, my kids, virtually everybody I know has agreed that nobody makes a dessert quite like you.
Wow, thank you.
So tell us, what was your influence?
I used to tag along in the kitchen with my grandmothers and with my mother.
Spain?
Yes, in Spain, of course. And my mother will allow me to make things as long as I clean up the kitchen afterwards. So I used to cook everything for the family.
You got to lick the bowls?
Oh, well, I spread it for the family, but my portion was always bigger because I had a previous portion before everybody sat down to the table.
Now, when my son worked here, he spent all of his paychecks on your desserts.
Very often. We gave him a good discount, but still, he liked them so much.
So now we have just a few of your signature desserts right in front of us. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Sure. Well, to start with, this is the flan, the caramel custard. And I know you can find flan in many different places, but I really doubt that you can find it as good as ours.
And I would agree.
Definitely not better. Let's see, I have the blueberry bread pudding. I like bread pudding and I never liked raisins on it, and I love blueberries. So one time I decided to do it that way, and now I have a follower list of people liking that one. The one in the little bowl is arroz con leche,
Who
rice
picks
pudding.
the blueberries?
I pick them myself.
Of
yeah,
course.
the berries
So
are hand-picked.
everything's fresh when you go to Don Quijote, even the
Yes.
desserts.
Well, of course. They won't be any good if they weren't. The rice pudding is very nice. Last night I made it especially for a customer as soon as he walked in, and I know she wanted it, and I didn't have any, so I started making it right away so she could have it.
And
they
the
were
last,
thrilled.
my favorite, everybody's favorite. What do we have here?
That's the tarta de cuajada. I learned that from my mom a few years ago. As I was visiting her, she was making one time, and we were talking about something unrelated. She was making it for just us that evening, and I thought, I'm not gonna like that. She put 2 teaspoons of sugar in the whole thing. And as I'm thinking I'm not gonna like it, she asked me, why don't you make this for your customers sometime? I bet they'll love it. I said, well, Mom, if I don't like it, I don't make it. But I liked it, I made it, and the rest is
And
history.
everybody calls this Elena's grandmother's dessert.
Yeah, that was when my daughter was here. She will say that's my grandma's recipe. Now she's not here. She's a grown woman, doesn't work here anymore. So I call it Mom's recipe for short.
But it's the one thing that I think that anybody that comes to Don Quijote, they won't. People that don't eat desserts, they eat desserts.
You are very right.
And I think that's
very right.
That's your flagship.
The thing about that one is that it's got very little sugar. So even people who don't like rich desserts, or sometimes they don't like desserts at all, they love that one because it's really light.
Now, of course, one of the things that brings people from all directions, in addition to your desserts, is the sangria, and of course the port. The port is something you can get in Chicago and other areas, but nobody mixes it quite like Don Quijote. And along with your desserts, it's an exclamation point to an amazing experience at Don Quijote. And I guess we're going to have a little bit of port right now. Carlos, tell us a little bit about your port. Why is it so popular?
Well, I really don't know. I started blending this years ago from a recipe that I brought from Porto, which I have to swear that I wasn't going to sell it or distribute it. And from then on, people just love it, and I keep making it. And it's a wonderful thing, apparently, to what they say.
Now, I've been to a lot of parties, and you see the influence of Don Quijote. You see people try to imitate your cuisine. When his desserts, of course, nobody can do it quite like you. But now you're seeing people buy port and serve it at their parties. They're buying it from your gift shop, the Don Quixote
Import shop.
Yep, yeah, actually it's one of our best sellers over there. We sell a lot of port, and but I'm not surprised. I know people that restaurants in town that are imitating our paella, our tapas, our port. So pretty soon they're going to put a figure of Carlos on a cardboard at the door, kissing hands.
Cheers.
Salud.